started. We'll call the meeting to order. This is the Town of Greenville Town Board meeting for the month of February, February 12, 2018. Let's stand and face the flag, say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Was the agenda properly posted? All right, let's do a roll call. Mike Woods. Here. Mark Strobel. Here. Jack Anderson's here. Andy Peters. Here. Dean Culbertson. Here. We're all present and accounted for. Since the agenda was properly posted, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor to approve the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. The agenda is approved. Public comment forum section. I believe Mr. Siegert would like to say something. You had some questions about the fire station. You've heard.
Yeah, there's been several rumors and stories and whatnot all going around. People have been asking me, are they going to put the possible new fire station on the April agenda, or what is the status about that? They said it's been in excess of 4 years and nothing seems to be going with it or done with it, or are they even going to think about doing something like that ever again?
Okay, so Andy, I'll fill in my gaps for what I leave behind, right? So the Greenville Facility Committee has looked for the last couple of years since the previous referendum was voted down by the town for fire and safety building, as well as additions to the town hall. Since then, we put in these temporary offices so that we could have appropriate amount of space for the town staff that was necessary, just as a Band-Aid measure to move us forward and get us to where we needed to be. Once this was in place, the focus of the committee transitioned over to other facilities in town, and it was determined the largest need was with the fire safety building. So we've been doing our research, had hired a different company, Five Bugles Design, out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, that have helped come up with a preliminary drawing. That drawing, I believe, was posted out on Facebook, social media at one point just a few months ago, after it was presented to the town board and to the Greenville Facility Committee in a joint meeting. I can't remember the exact month, but it seems like it was October.
Sounds about right. Yeah, and it was also the schematic design and floor plan, proposed floor plan were also published as part of an article in the Post-Crescent.
So the Facility Committee is still recommending to the town board to use the same property to build a new fire and safety building, and they've got the proposed drawing. The costs have gone down somewhat on that, but without getting into too many details, the Facility Committee in December recommended to the town board to go forward with a referendum in August of 2018 that would coincide with the election that's already to be hosted on the 14th of August. And the town board asked to table that agenda item until we get a communication strategy and plan in place on how we're going to educate what the specific needs are for a new fire and safety building. What are the services that are degraded, and how are they going to be improved upon with a new building? So does that help answer your question?
In other words, nothing's going to happen.
No, I didn't say that at all. I said
that's the way I interpret your language to be, that maybe in next August you might be able to put it on the
so something like that in a referendum needs to have a certain amount of days for public notice. So we got the recommendation from the Facility Committee to have that in August. So that means right around the first part of June, we need to determine whether or not we want to have that referendum. The town board for Greenville would agree to that referendum. So that would allow us to have sufficient notice for the public that the referendum is coming up. It is important that we educate people on what the needs are and get that education out to the general public so that they can make an educated vote when this referendum does happen. So without that communication strategy and communication plan, what those education needs are, we're waiting for that. So I'm not saying nothing's going to happen, Jim. I'm not saying there's going to be something that happens, because we need to get that strategy and that plan in place. Otherwise, people they don't have anything else that's changed their minds from the previous time.
You know, there's all kinds of stories and rumors going around Greenville right now, and all I can do is tell these people, they may have to wait till the middle or end
You know,
of
the
year
very
before
best thing
something
you
might
could
happen.
tell anybody that has a rumor like that is tell them that the town staff, the town board, and the facilities committee are still moving forward with that. And the best way to educate themselves would be to either visit the town's website, which needs to have some updates put on there for the facility committee in the near future, but to call our town administrator, Joel, and Joel can fill them in on what's been happening.
Figure the earliest you might be able to do something would be June of this year.
So just for a point of clarification, so Jim, your question is there a referendum question going to be posed for the April ballot? And the answer is no, not for the April ballot. The proposal currently states, and the recommendation is to have a referendum question presented to the voters for the August partisan primary, which will be on August 14th of this year. Now, we would have to submit, the town board would have to pass a resolution likely in June to the state to have that referendum language be placed on the ballot. So we would know by June, a date in June, if that question will be posed in August. If it's not posed in August, then it could certainly move to, let's say, a November ballot language. I don't feel that the board at this point has had a strong sense to hold a special election. They would like to have the referendum language be posted on a ballot of an existing election cycle, so that the partisan primary, or we'll have our general election in November, which will be a rather large election, being a gubernatorial election at that time. So there's some work that the committee clearly has to accomplish. Regardless, the referendum is an advisory referendum, and that referendum will advise, obviously, members of the public as they come to a special meeting to then ultimately make the final vote as it relates to the fire station.
So we're working through things, Jim, trying to get there as quickly as we can, but we have to present the right material to make sure that people are educated on what's out there. So I appreciate your comments.
Like I said, there's a lot of rumors and stories going around right now that we don't want to hear about.
Right, I'm sure. Although it would be good to hear some of those things so that we can make sure that we either set the record straight or are hearing what the concerns are for the community. So I appreciate your comments. Anybody else here for public comment forum? I'm not seeing any, so I'd take a motion to close public comment forum.
So moved. Second.
Seconds to Mark. All in favor to close public comment forum, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Public comment forum section is closed. That moves us to the consent agenda. This is approval of meeting minutes for the town board on January 8th, January 22nd, and February 2nd. February town vouchers. Staff reports from our liaison officer, fire department, first responders, park and recreation, urban forestry, constable report, and town administrator. This also includes committee reports from the park commission and approval of a couple operator licenses. Those operator licenses went through our new policies and procedures. Okay. So anybody willing to make a motion, or is there anybody that would like something polled?
I will make a motion to go ahead and approve the consent agenda. Second.
Dean's made the motion, Mark's given second. Let's go forward with our vote on this. All in favor to approve the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Item 6 is not necessary. Number 7, new business, planning commission recommendations. First thing we have is for CSM at N2081 Mayflower Road. This is a discussion and possible action for the CSM. So it appears that we've been given a recommendation for approval from the Planning Commission on this. Be willing to accept the motion, or if anybody has questions or comments.
Make a motion to go ahead and approve the recommendation on the certified survey map for Mayflower Road.
I'll second that motion.
Dean's given a motion to approve, Andy's given second. Is there any questions or comments? See, a few of you are still reviewing some of the material, so just want to make sure you guys are good. Looks like it, so let's go forward with our vote on this. All in favor to approve the CSM for N2081 Mayflower Road, please state so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 7AI is approved. It takes us to 7AII, discussion and possible action. This is for CSM for Patricia Jack, Greenville Drive, parcels 11001970 and 1100196606. This was recommended for approval from the Planning Commission as well.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I just have a quick question. I thought there was.
Hold on a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You guys have anything, any questions or comments? Okay, so you've got the motions, Wendy? Okay, I'll go ahead.
There's
I
two parcels.
do need you to state your name and address for the record since you're speaking.
Jack,
Yep.
and 2415 Benny Road. There's two parcels on here. I thought there was only one for 14.68 acres.
Yeah, just for clarification, they're proposing to basically create one lot for that 14 acre subdivision. Are you able to hear me okay back there?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
There's one lot that's being proposed as a combination, but that one lot is being derived from two existing parcels. The two existing parcels that were identified are the parent parcels of which they're combining to create that single 14-acre lot.
All right, understand. Thank you.
Okay. Happy we were able to answer your question. So a motion's been given with a second. Is there any other questions or comments? I'm not hearing any, so we're going to move forward with our vote. Motion's been given to approve. All in favor to approve should state so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 7AII is approved. This leads us to 7AIII, discussion and possible action rezoning of W6268 Spencer Road. This would be from general agricultural to general commercial. This too was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Second.
Dean's given a motion to approve. Mark has provided a second. Is there any questions or comments? Once again, I'm not hearing any, so we'll go forward with our vote. So, motion's been given to approve rezoning of W6268 Spencer Road from general agricultural to general commercial. All in favor to do so, state so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 7AIII is approved. 7AIV or 7A4. This is discussion and possible action for rezoning of Municipal Drive, parcel 1100353300. This would be from general commercial to multifamily residential. Planning Commission has recommended this to be denied.
Move to deny on the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
I'll second. Motion's been given to deny, motion to deny by Mark, seconded by Jack. Any other questions or comments? Jim, I know that you're here to speak on this. This is your opportunity.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak. First, I apologize to the town not making the planning commission meeting. It was due to extenuating family problems that I had to get taken care of, and then my scheduling on getting back from Florida. That's the one reason I was asking to speak tonight. I would ask that the town board override the recommendation of the planning commission based on the following things. You have in your agenda packet, I believe, the minutes from the neighborhood meeting that I had and went over with it, in which we had a large discussion with a lot of different opinions, but a lot of the consensus seemed to be set up for the flexibility on having some barrier areas, having the buildings not be too large or outrageous, not near the property lines, et cetera. So they took that in consideration when they did the drawings. The owner of this property, the Reimers, have had it on the property for quite a long time. I represent them as well as the buyer, Raminder Singh. Mr. Singh owns a single-family residence just to the west of this property, right on the borderline of the property. He's not looking forward to any type of commercial or anything being on the property because he plans to live where he is for quite a long time. His reason for buying it and developing the property is because he's selling his gas stations and all that he has, located up in Hortonville and towards Clintonville and all. They've already been sold and all, so he wants to reinvest in the community. The next reason is we have supported the staff. And the reason we have supported the staff, the only reason I can figure out with all the development has is twofold. Number one, going from single family to a multifamily low density basis, which this is because it's under the 17 units per acre, and all is a good barrier for any commercial or any high distance traffic. Gives the town some flexibility with site plans, not only because it's in a historic district, but because it's a multifamily plan, they can demand more landscaping, berming, et cetera, which we have already decided we would do. So it gives them some good barrier properties to protect the single-family subdivisions already in place, much more than if a commercial building comes into town, in my opinion. The second reason is the amount of commercial land that Greenville has available right now, and some of you know me, some of you don't, but I've been up here since Wildflower Field was built doing different projects and all, is enough probably to fill a 3 to 10 year window just what's along Highway 15. So the odds, in my opinion, as a developer and as a commercial real estate broker, of commercial speeding its way up Highway 76 is not going to be an urgent factor. I don't foresee that happening when everybody that I communicate with wants to be as close to Highway 15 as possible and have the visibility for 15 and all. The last reason I'd ask you to reconsider, and I bought some larger maps, I believe Joel put in the smaller ones, but just to show you the type of buildings based on what your requirements are and what they would build if the town was interested in looking at them. I was not here to show these to the planning commission at all. But one of the things I wanted to show you is there are 2 8-unit buildings, but we have 17 garages altogether. We have 9 garages in each building. We have 2 garages strictly for storage or anything needed for operating the property. There'll be no other buildings or anything put on the property at all for outside storage of equipment or anything else or for maintenance. The site plan contains a 1 entrance on the property with heavy berming in the back, trees and everything to protect the residential as far as to the west, a high fencing and plantings along the north side to protect what I think is still being using as residential homes. We left the south side empty because not knowing what the town would want to see if they put the fire department or just what it'll meet code. And then landscaping in the front and the back, but we moved the units as close as we can to the front of Highway 76. In the back, we have put overflow parking, nothing else, and we did that in order to eliminate any type of building onto it. The last reason I asked for it, I think it's needed in Greenville. Currently, under my actions, there's only 1 property that is currently zoned multifamily that's located with some out-of-town owners and one of the first multifamilies we did at the west end of Wildflower Field. This is going to be locally owned, it'll be locally managed, and it'll be for a resident here in town, as well as the Reimers finally moving their property, which has been on the market for about 7 years, trying to go commercial. And there's been no takers at all and any type of situation onto it. So I ask you to consider reversing the planning commission and overriding it and approving the project. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. So a motion's been given with a second. Is there any questions or comments from the board?
I'm looking for a copy of the minutes from the planning commission, but either maybe you or Joel could, I might have missed that part of the planning commission, it was a few minutes late. What was the reasoning behind the planning commission on this? Minutes should be in the front of your packet, in front of the agenda packet. So you have my cover memo, and then there should be a copy of the minutes. I was currently attending the Board of Appeals meeting on that same date, so I was not physically present during the meeting when those comments were made.
46.
And the minutes are obviously reflecting just the action that was taken. So it would be something that we would recommend that if you do make a motion for denial, and really ultimately if you're making a motion in
Sorry.
general on this, that you have some type of findings of fact.
45.
You'd want to state your facts as to why you're going to reason for your denial. Staff obviously did review it. You have our staff review in the packet. Jim alluded to staff's recommendation to approve. That recommendation from staff was based on the fact that the future land use has shown that as a property zoned for residential use. So the use that was being proposed is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and that was the main justification for recommendation of approval. We're basing that on our comprehensive plan, which was adopted by a town board at one point in time for the town of Greenville. If that vision is no longer the vision that you see forward on that particular property, well then we would obviously need to adjust our comprehensive plan to reflect that change in land use for future purposes.
So Dean, you were asking where this is from the minutes from the Planning Commission. It's item 6B on page 45 of our packet.
Give me a lot of background.
So just to cover the details, I believe the discussion points that were brought up is that the Planning Commission's desires are for this portion of Municipal Drive to be set up for commercial business.
What were the reasons for denying it just because of that? It's been on the market for 7 years and nobody's grabbed it. But they want to see commercial.
Like to see that developed for commercial business. We didn't have any of the renderings or anything that Jim's brought today. Obviously, those renderings would have to be, these are probably from a previous project.
No, this is for this project, but
Okay.
it's all preliminary. We realize our site plans still have to come through the staff for their review and any of their questions on. This is done to give an example of what we would definitely do, and then we'd add on top of that what we need. I believe most of the materials they've used, Bayland Builders is who did the project.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they contacted Joel and his staff to go over the ordinance that you have for that district for building, and they've incorporated that into their cost.
Okay.
Project cost will be right around $1,400,000 to $1,500,000 for 2 buildings. Can I ask Jim a question?
Certainly.
I'm going back, we got 154 pages, we could go through. But at your neighborhood meeting, the concerns were? The concerns were the height of the buildings, whether they would look at truss, whether we look at doing duplexes, which we did on basis, it just didn't make sense for to put the buildings up close. Those were some of the concerns. The neighbors to the west, all of their concerns were the berming and being protected. I think they felt, some of them knew the things, and I think they felt good that somebody's gonna live in a single-family home right beside you and would be overseeing the property the whole time. Because that's Ramondra's plan. Like I said, he sold his gas station, so he's too young to retire. So and that was why he chose this lot to do that. So were the neighbors, when we left the meeting, my neighbors satisfied with the answers from having all the neighborhood meetings, when I left the meeting, it was like everybody was okay, you know, they knew we were gonna go ahead and go and pursue it. My understanding from the planning commission meeting, and I wasn't here, but what I've been told, is that nobody showed up against it. And of course, since I was not here, I didn't show up to speak for it. And I gratefully apologize for that. I've never missed, as most of you know, a town board or planning commission meeting here in Greenville regardless.
Mark, you were present at the meeting,
At the neighborhood meeting, it was.
public hearing for it? Okay. What did you hear
The
from?
residents were not too enthused about the idea of having a two-story, two-building, two-story complex on that property. They didn't want to look out their windows and look into a two-story building. There were some other issues, but that was the biggest one.
Is the potential, Joe, I'm gonna go back to you. Is it feasible that if it went commercial, there could be a two-story commercial building there also, then, couldn't there? I mean, we have no limitations on height for commercial, correct?
There would be some limitations based on the heritage overlay, but you're still, even at a single-story building, if we were to fully enforce the requirements on a building for that lot size, we require an 812 pitch roof, so I mean, we have pretty steep roof angles anyway. I think that drawing there, there'd have to be some modifications to it to meet that, that pitch requirement, but either way, that's still gonna be a pretty substantial in height type structure.
And the recommendation from the staff was,
The recommendation was to allow the rezoning, again, primarily because the proposed land use is consistent with the comprehensive plan. So we are following the visions of the community, or the board, if you will, that adopted the comprehensive plan at that time. They have made every attempt, to our knowledge, obviously this is not a formal site plan submission to meet the requirements of the heritage and gateway overlay districts. Again, this is preliminary, so those still need to be worked out. But from a staff review, they've made every attempt to meet those requirements, and the comprehensive plan had indicated that as being residential. So that was the reasoning for the recommendation.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Not hearing any, so I think we're ready for a vote. A motion was given to deny the rezoning on Municipal Drive from general commercial to multifamily residential. So we'll go forward with that vote. All in favor to deny, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
That's a vote of 3-2. Mike Woods and Dean Culbertson were the nays. That takes us, so that means that the motion carries. 7A4 was denied. Takes us to 7B, discussion and possible action for town engineer, statement of qualification review, and a recommendation of town engineer. Is there any, go ahead.
Motion to appoint Cedar Cooperation.
Cooperation.
Motion to approve Cedar Corporation as the town of Greenville designated town engineer.
I'll second that.
Mark's given a motion to approve Cedar Corporation as the town of Greenville's designated town engineer. Mike's given a second. Any questions or comments?
Just a quick comment from staff. Dean Steinenberger from Cedar Corporation is here this evening. Dean is in the audience, so if you had any questions from Dean, he's representing Cedar. Our two normal stand-ins either had conflicts this evening because of another meeting schedule, or they fell ill with the flu. So Dean is here representing Cedar, so if you have any questions, he'd be happy to answer those for you.
Okay. You guys had a lot of good information to look through. Just looking in our packet, the different materials and qualifications of those on your staff from Cedar Corporation. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, motion's been made to, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not skipping something on this? All right, so motion and a second have been given. And this is for approval for Cedar Corporation to be, represent the town as the town engineer, correct? Is that correct, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's okay. I didn't say your name. I was just double checking that I got it right. All right, let's go forward with our vote unless there's anybody with a question or comment.
Just one question. How long is this agreement for? Is there an end date or review date?
Based on the statement of qualifications request, we had indicated that we would be looking to hold this consulting arrangement for about a period of 3 years. With that being said, each individual project, based on the project size and scope, and within our purchasing policy, will require the town board to approve letters of authorization, either annually, depending if it's kind of an ongoing service arrangement, or project by project. So at any point in time, if you feel uncomfortable utilizing Cedar as your engineer, you could certainly request proposals for another project, or if conflicts arise, you can address it at that time.
Okay. Motion's been given to approve. Is there any other questions or comments? Not hearing any, let's go forward with our vote. All in favor to approve Cedar Corporation as the recommended town engineer should state so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 7B is approved. 7C, discussion and possible action, final payment request to MCC Incorporated for street and stormwater facility construction in the Crestview subdivision.
So if you recall, back in January, we approved a final pay request for final paving in the Crestview subdivision with MCC. That was a separate and unique project contract with MCC that was arranged ahead of the 2017 calendar year. That contract was just basically tied to our overall paving contract for that calendar year. This particular pay request is to MCC again, but this is for the original contract that was approved by the town board on June 3rd, 2015, and this value is supporting the street construction, so basically the base course, the binder layer, and then any of the appetances that go into that street construction, including some stormwater improvements, ditches, swales, drainage ways, and some stormwater facilities with the pond. This is the final pay request, and to my knowledge, the last and only standing contract within the Crestview subdivision, so that should officially close out that overall project from 2015.
I make a motion to approve the final pay request to MCC for an amount of $16,156.55.
I'll second your motion.
Any other questions or comments?
Everything was done according to our town specifications and everything, I take it?
Correct. This is obviously inspected with Dean Schiller when he was here previously, but then Dan Klansky and Chris Pagels both provided inspection. As-built drawings for all facilities were presented and provided to the town in accordance with the ordinances.
Okay.
Any other questions? Motion's been given to approve the payment for $16,156.55. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 7C is approved. 7D is discussion and possible action for an application for conditional use permit. The applicant is Chad Miller. He has an accessory structure and is doing fill and grading within a shoreland zoning district. This is at N1610 Linda Lou Drive.
I'll make the motion to approve and recommend granting the conditional use permit for Chad Miller with the following conditions due to known past flooding issues. 1, Town of Greenville stormwater and erosion control permit is required or acquired. 2, the 100-year floodplain must be delineated on the site plan, and I'd like to also state that it should be field located. 3, no filled material is allowed below the 100-year floodplain. And 4, all town, state, and/or county approvals must be obtained prior to starting construction.
I'll second, Mark. Any questions or comments for this agenda item? Not hearing any, let's go forward with our vote on 7D for approval. This would be for conditional use permit for N1610 Linda Lou Drive. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 7D is approved. Takes us to 8A, which is some announcements and updates from open positions we had at the town. Joel, I'll let you take that.
Okay, a couple of quick updates on our Community and Economic Development Director position. Over the last few weeks, we've been interviewing and screening candidates for that particular position. I'm happy to report that we have offered and received an accepted offer from Michael Brown for a position of Community and Economic Development Director. Michael is planning to begin his tenure with the town of Greenville on March 12th, 2018, so in about a month. Michael, for those of you that weren't a part of the process, had previously been the Community and Economic Development Director in the village of Lake in the Hills in Illinois. It's a community of about 30,000 residents in the suburban area of Chicago. Prior to that, he served as a Community Development Director for the city of Ironwood, Michigan, and had also previously worked in a community in Illinois as a planner and senior planner. He's got a master's degree in environmental science and policy with an undergraduate degree in urban and regional studies. So he's certainly very well qualified. We're very excited to have Michael come on board for us in March. I'm also happy to report that we've offered the position of Director of Public Works and have received an accepted offer today from Brian Rickert. Brian is currently a senior civil engineer, project manager for the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Brian's official start date right now is set for March 19th, 2018. So Brian is looking forward to beginning his tenure here with the town of Greenville. We're excited to have Brian with us as well. A couple of quick announcements. I'll probably steal Jack's thunder a little bit. Facility committee, I think we were planning for a facility committee on Wednesday, February 21st.
Did you get a,
We're still waiting confirmation from
Right.
others and Five Bugles, but that's the current tentative plan. We are also planning a joint planning commission / town board meeting on Monday, February 19th at 5 p.m. That is to discuss some planning efforts for the northwestern area of the town of Greenville. Next planning commission meeting is on February 26th. Just as a reminder, we will not have a town board quorum for that evening, so we are not planning on meeting as a town board that evening. At our next meeting, we'll be hopefully discussing the Lions Club financing plan that was discussed at the prior meeting. Still working on the details for that. And then you should have received an email from me regarding a large announcement that Appleton International Airport and Gulfstream are set to announce in 2 weeks. So if you want to let me know if you're able to attend that, they're basically going to be making an announcement about a major expansion that Gulfstream is proposing at the airport. That's all I have.
Did you say that Mr. Rickert would be starting on the 19th?
Correct.
Okay, and have we made Michael Brown aware that we have a town board meeting that night, that he might want to plan accordingly with his family if he's hoping to attend? The only other thing I had in here is on the 19th, and this would be a request for Wendy to add a closed session at the end of that for the town board to meet to talk about employee compensation. So just for town board, we need to look at some of our compensation things, since you guys are mostly going to be gone at the end of the month. One particular person at the end of the row here should be addressed by the town board. Okay? That's all I have, so just looking for a motion to adjourn. Yes, Greg. Go ahead before we adjourn.
Park Commission meeting is on the 27th.
2:27, 7 p.m. right here at Town Hall.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think you should have it in one of the parks.
Bring your ice skates down to Community Park type thing?
I'd be there, but I'm out of town, sorry.
As it goes. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mark's given the motion, Dean's given a second. All in favor to adjourn our town board meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Town board meeting's adjourned, and shortly we'll start into sanitary district number 1.